When I was 18, I constantly had to remind myself of my age. You're just 18. You have many more years to go to accomplish anything. Who knows what you'll achieve in the future? I constantly felt like I had culminated into an 18-year-old ball of failures and missed opportunities. But I was hopeful and optimistic about what I could accomplish in the next few years. Now, sitting here at the beginning of my 26th revolution of the sun, I still say to myself, you're just 26. Has anything even changed? Or am I doomed to be in this loop of failure forever? The Outer Wilds experience is indescribable. But just for you, I've got to try. Beginning the game, you wake up next to a campfire under the stars as you see something break apart and shoot across the sky. A quick conversation with the fellow Hearthian, Slate, lets us know that today is our first day into space. So, naturally, the first thing I did was attempt to roast a marshmallow. But it was quickly burnt as I stuck the marshmallow directly into the fire. From there, I began to explore the rustic town of Timberhearth, conversing with the locals, playing hide and seek, playing with the model ship, and testing my skills in zero gravity. This was my home. Upon reaching the museum, obtaining the launch codes, and getting a very strange statue to look at me with its glowing eyes, my journey began. I soon began to feel just as the marshmallow felt, being thrust into fire, as I was thrust into the vast open sea of space. My first stop was the Addle Rock, Timberhearth's moon. The desolate, crater-filled land was accompanied by a quiet whistler named Esker. They let me know of the others out there with their instruments, and I followed the sounds of a banjo first, which led me to the planet of Brittle Hollow, where its volcanic moon was bombing the planet constantly, as the black hole at the planet's core was fragmenting and eating segments of the planet, one by one. Exploration of the planet was breathtaking as I began venturing underneath the planet's crust. Finding my way to the solitary tune being played on the banjo, I met Rybeck, the shy space explorer who was terrified of space. We shared a chat and I burnt another marshmallow at the campfire. As I began exploring more of Brittle Hollow, I was met with a terrifying plunge into the black hole, as I missed the jump and couldn't recover. This was it. A black hole is so dense that my body would be torn apart by the extreme gravity once I entered. What a way to go. And to my surprise, as I entered, I found myself floating in space, miles away from Brittle Hollow, next to a white hole station? A white hole? Did I just teleport? As I aimed to enter the white hole station, a song kicked in, breaking the silence of space. A feeling of anxiety rushes over me as I clearly do not understand what the hell is going on with this universe. I mean, I just survived a black hole. And the Nomai, they gave so many notes everywhere, I just don't understand. And all of a sudden, approximately 22 minutes in the game, the sun explodes into a massive supernova, engulfing every planet and ultimately me in a majestic blaze of glory. That was the end of that loop. And soon, the game begins replaying the memories of this life in a rapid slideshow, and my goal has become clear. 1. Learn everything I can about this universe, and 2. Stop the sun from exploding, or at least save everyone from the explosion. I have no idea if this is possible, but I've got to try. I mean, it's a video game. Every game is designed so that you're tasked with a goal or a quest, and in the end you achieve it. Sure, there may be some missteps along the way, but what good challenge is easy all the way through? So with that, I woke up again, home on Timberhearth, with my memories retained. I used the previously learned launch codes and I set off to understand this universe and learn all that I can. My journey brought me to wild and fantastical locations throughout the solar system. On Giant's Deep, entering the atmosphere gave me a heart attack as I was startled to find a planet which contained a vast deep ocean and storms raging throughout. I hated that planet, primarily due to a fear of the deep ocean. On a single island, I met a Hearthian named Gabbro, who plays the flute and acknowledges that they are also in a time loop, experiencing the last 22 minutes over and over. And to keep calm with the thought of impending death, they meditate. So therefore, climbing up to the nearest campfire and burning yet another marshmallow, I began to meditate too before my next journey. Entering the dark bramble, I find myself lost in a thorny expanse that was clearly bigger on the inside. As I speed through the multiple entryways in this lost woods of a bramble, I am soon terrified as a giant anglerfish sets out to eat my ship, resulting in an early death of that loop. What the hell was that? On multiple re-entries after finding out that the anglerfish are blind, I come to meet Feldspar, the most skilled Hearthian pilot who crashed his ship in the dark bramble. He enjoys the peace and quiet he's found on the skeleton of an anglerfish, and he calmly plays his harmonica. That was the strangest place to burn a marshmallow. The Hourglass Twins, being a binary system of planets wherein the Ash Twin, a planet engulfed with sand, orbits the sun together with the Ember Twin, a rocky canyon and cavernous planet. Throughout the loop, the gravity between the two planets allows for the sand to travel from the Ash Twin and cover the Ember Twin. All the while, I'm enjoying another burnt marshmallow next to yet another Hearthian explorer named Chert. Chert drums while excited to be able to witness this many supernovas off in the distance. But something's wrong. Something is off about the stars. There shouldn't be this many supernovas happening. There shouldn't be this many stars dying. In fact, it's not even a handful of stars dying. It's all of them. All of them are dying. And ours is next. Chert then laments. What does it matter? Nothing matters anymore. The sun is about to go supernova and me? All my research, all my life's work, wasted. And just like that, the accumulation of Chert's entire existence, the existence of every Hearthian and every being in the universe, is coming to an abrupt end. Any goals, any plans, any ideas, all gone within the matter of a single 22 minutes. Chert's life of exploration and goal of charting the stars will ultimately lead into a failure. We only get so much time, don't we? There was still more I wanted to do. How unlucky to have been born at the end of the universe. But this can't be the end. Clearly, I haven't learned enough, or there's some mechanic that I'm not seeing. There's no way that I could just let them all die. There's something that I need to do, and I'm just not 100% sure on what that is, but I've got to try. Soon, the answer became clear. The great solution must be the eye of the universe. Now, here's where all the pieces fall into place. After multiple loops, the story begins to take shape. Throughout the Outer Wilds experience, you learn through ancient Nomai texts that the eye of the universe is an object floating around the sun which is emitting a signal that is seemingly older than the universe itself. But wait, how can something be older than the universe itself? That same question drove the Nomai to travel to this system using their large transport vessel. Their goal was simple: discover what the eye of the universe is. During their trip, the vessel was ensnared by dark bramble as they subsequently had to settle in this solar system. They then built colonies and a full society around the planets that we've been able to travel to. From a gorgeous hanging city in Brittle Hollow to an underground cavernous city named the Sunless City. The Nomai had made this place their home. But did they ever find the eye of the universe before going extinct? Despite every locator they built ending as a failure, they continued to try. Their final plan was put into motion as the Nomai have been researching high-energy warp cores composed of miniature black holes and white holes. Upon experimentation, they noticed that there is a fraction of a second when an object traveling through exists at two places at once. Filled with excitement, they realized that the more energy they supplied to the experiment, the sooner the object came out. With enough power supplied, they can have the object come out a total of 22 minutes as it enters. 22 minutes. They've discovered the time loop. After creating statues to be able to transfer the memories of the previous loop, yes, that same statue that eyed me at the beginning of the game, They only needed enough power to start that time loop, and the way to get that immense power was to blow up the sun. This caused a huge rift in the Nomai. How could they even consider starting a supernova event? It would destroy so much, this place that they called home. Yet, it was the only way to power the machine. After much deliberation, they created the sun station in order to manually trigger this supernova event. Upon warping to the sun station to find out what happened, I felt exhilarated. It felt like the pinnacle of the game, as if the truth was about to be revealed. And then, it wasn't. The sun station that they desperately built to give them more time to find the eye was a failure. It didn't work. How? But how could that fail? That was a grand plan. Soon after, before they even had time to consider other possibilities, the interloper, which is a comet carrying ghost matter, entered the solar system. This ghost matter wiped out every last Nomai in the system. They all died, gone from existence, right from their own home. What does it matter? Nothing matters anymore. And me, all my research, my life's work, wasted. What the Nomai set out to do with their entire civilization just didn't amount to anything. Was searching for the eye even worth it? This didn't sit right with me. They can't all have died in vain. I can't let that be it. All of their hard work finally began to work at the natural death of our sun, and the time loop benefited me. I can't let their work just go to waste. So I grabbed the advanced warp core from the Ash Twin project, effectively stopping the loop. A familiar tune began to play, but this time it was different. It was the end of not only that loop, but the end of all loops. This was it. This was the one chance I had to fix this, in whatever way that would happen. I then headed to the Nomai vessel in the Dark Bramble, entered the coordinates, and made my way to the Eye of the Universe. In a haunting journey through a purple quantum wasteland, I found myself excited to see how they would fix this, and suddenly, there I was back at the museum. Where was this grand solution? Where was what the Nomai spent their entire lives trying to find? Then, as time progressed, I ended up in a forest, observing the natural death of the universe. Was it over? I then began collecting the instruments of the friends I've made along my journey, and began to observe one final song. This was it. I was reaching the end of the game. There was no grand solution. There was no chance to save everyone, and the death of the universe is truly inescapable. I had failed. Another failure to add to the never-ending list of my failures in life. In all my 26 years of existence, it's hard to experience the weight of every failure. Throughout my life, I tend to linger on the many failures I've received. Being rejected from every university I'd applied to, which caused me to end up going to community college. Having the inability to help my brother-in-law as he struggled and passed away with leukemia. Getting a job in a completely different field than what I studied after having numerous rejections from jobs that I actually would want to do. Not being a resource to one of my best friends before she took her own life. Having a YouTube channel for 10 plus years and never amounting to anything despite all the hours spent on it. Not spending enough time with my dad before he passed away. It's tempting to linger in this moment, with so many possibilities, but if not collapsed by a conscious observer, they will never be more than possibilities. And as I continue lingering on my numerous failures, a giant explosion happens on my screen, and soon, 14.3 billion years later pops up on my screen. A soothing melody plays, and I'm seemingly brought to another universe. In the corner, a fire starts, ready for more marshmallows. The universe didn't end. It began again. Filled with new life, new stories, and new experiences. By entering the Eye of the Universe, I was able to view the birth of this new universe, and in the grand cosmic scale of it all, my failure was not the end. Failure never is the end, despite how long it may linger. It's then in that moment I realized that the game's goal was never to save the universe, or even save anyone. The point of the game is to explore, and to seek an understanding of your role in this universe. Even for the short amount of time we play the game, even the short amount of time that we have on this earth, the point is just to live. And despite everything, we've got to try. The Nomai came here with the purpose to find the eye of the universe, but that's not all that they did. They explored, they learned, they lived and laughed with one another, and they made the Outer Wilds their home. Their failure is not the only thing that defines their civilization. Their efforts made it so we could explore, we could learn, we could live and laugh with our fellow Hearthians, and at the end of the day, we also made the Outer Wilds our home. Every life is a pile of good things and bad things, but if you focus so much on the bad things, the failures in life, you'll never be able to appreciate your achievements. Without my failures, they wouldn't have given way to some of the most amazing and memorable experiences of my life. Being rejected from every university gave me a chance to meet the love of my life at community college. I had the ability to spend time with my brother-in-law, playing games and making the last few moments of his life slightly better as much as I could. I was able to land a job that I actually do have fun with and enjoy. I was able to become a best friend to someone before they left this earth. I was able to make an amazing YouTube channel that I have a ton of fun spending time with. I was able to spend time with my dad while he was still here, and we made memories that I will cherish throughout my life. I was also able to experience the Outer Wilds in this fantastical and utterly magical experience, with scientific wonders and gorgeous landscapes, all while learning about the universe and my place in it. We only get so much time, don't we? At the end of it all, no, we never get enough time. We don't get to see it all, and no one ever can. But what we did see was beautiful beyond measure, and for that, I'm grateful. Now I can safely say to myself, you're just 26 years old, and no matter what age you're just going to be, there will always be more experiences, more opportunities to learn, more chances to succeed, and definitely more chances to fail. But despite every single marshmallow I've burnt over this time in my life, there will always be one with just the right amount of care and just the right amount of time that will come out perfect.